Guys, so I've got my greenhouse outside. I've got the tomatoes growing in there. Um, I've got the peppers growing in there. I've got all different kinds of peppers and all different kinds of tomatoes. They are growing, gradually maturing from seedling in the greenhouse. And I also have sweet potatoes that I'm growing. But where are the sweet potatoes? They're not in the greenhouse. They are indoors. They are in here. I could leave it in the greenhouse, but there's no reason to do that. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to grow sweet potatoes. I learned this from many YouTube videos. So yeah. So, sweet potatoes. We've got so in order to grow sweet potatoes, you have to have these things called slips. Yeah, point the camera to the right direction. These are called slips, okay? And they have roots in them, or roots growing out of them. And these are what will go into the soil to grow. And you know, the sweet potato is a root vegetable, so it's gonna grow into the soil. Those roots will grow into the soil, and the sweet potatoes will come out of those roots. Okay, so this is what you plant into the soil. Now, how do you get this? How do you get the slips? How do you get the slips? Make sure the camera is on the actual frame. Now, how do you get the slips? Okay, how do you get this? Well, you get this by essentially soaking sweet potatoes that you get from the store. These are organic sweet potatoes that I got from Kroger. You get these sweet potatoes and you soak them in water. Yep, exactly. You heard that right. You soak them in water. Okay? You soak them in water, and you kind of see how I've got it here. They're kind of suspended in the water. They're not really. I mean, this one is kind of touching the bottom of the glass bottle, and you're supposed to use glass bottles so that you can see clear glass bottles, so you can see what's going on. It's better that way, so you can see what's going on. And of course, you want to see the level of the water. This one is touching the bottom. This one is not, and I don't think this one is over there. But you don't have to. They don't have to be suspended. They shouldn't be. I'm sorry. You don't have to have them touching the bottom of the glass. It's better for them to be kind of suspended in the water, kind of floating on the water, or floating in the water. And the best way to do that is to have these toothpicks to kind of anchor them so that they don't hit the bottom of the glass bottle, okay, or the glass container. All right, so you have these toothpicks. I've got one on. I've got 3 sides. Got 3 of them on the to anchor them. And over time, within I would say a couple of weeks, you will start seeing this. Roots, tons of roots, huge roots. You start look at this, right? That's crazy. You start seeing that, right? And then over time, okay, as time goes on, you will also start seeing these start growing on the sweet potatoes. Now, I've noticed, I noticed something based on my first year of growing sweet potatoes, which was last year, which is my first year of growing in general. I noticed that the sweet potatoes that are more slim or skinny are the ones that grow the slips quicker. The more fatter ones take a longer time. So look at this one. That one is a little bit fatter. It's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit fatter. As you can see, there are no signs of slips growing on them. And also, I bought 3 sweet potatoes to increase the chances of the sweet potatoes growing slips. So I didn't want to do one because what if that sweet potato, I don't know, what if it's a dud, right? What if that sweet potato just doesn't have it in them? Okay, what if it just doesn't have it in them to grow slips? That's why I did 3 to increase the odds, or improve the odds, not increase the odds, but improve the odds. All right. So where was I? So you will start seeing these slips growing on the sweet potatoes, right? As you can see, I've got 2 slips here. This one, I probably put this one in there probably about a week ago or so. Probably about a week ago. And as you can see, I've got slips in this glass container, and those actually came from this slimmer one. As you can see, it is slimmer, right? Slimmer, skinnier, however you want to put it. And the 2 that I cut came right there, right on top, right there. Those two points that you see, that's where those slips came from. So those slips actually at this size were on this, maybe not this exact size, because they do continue to grow a little bit, while they're suspended in the water that they're in right now. But once they get to a decent size, not this size right here, not this small one. Let me move it back to show some context, right? This is some context. See the size of that compared to that? Yeah. So you want them to grow a little bit big, be a little bit mature, and then you cut it. Okay, you cut it, and then you create another glass container, and you just put some water in there and just drop it in there. Just soak it in some water. Now, in the house right now, the general temperature is between 65 to about 72. So I don't really know if they're supposed to be in a warmer climate versus colder. I doubt they should be in a colder climate as they're developing into slips and growing roots. For example, I don't know if, let's say, if they're supposed to be in a warmer climate, maybe those slips could grow faster if they were in a warmer climate. I have to do more research on to find out. And I may have researched it and just found out that it wasn't necessary, and just don't recall the complete specifics on it. But right now they're doing good to my liking. They're doing good to my liking. So again, you soak the sweet potato in water. The sweet potatoes grow these roots initially, and then they start growing these slips, and then those slips mature a little bit. They get bigger, and they get as big as this, and then you cut them. You cut the slips at the root, at the base level rather. You cut them at the base level, and then you soak that into water. Okay, so that's how you get those slips. And then these are going to continue growing roots. As you can see, they're going to continue growing roots. Imagine this thing right here, this slip right here is going to produce multiple sweet potatoes at the root level, multiple sweet potatoes. Matter of fact, you should see how big, how huge these the leaves and the slips get, my goodness, they grow lengths. They grow like crazy. Once you put them in the soil, and they grow best in the summertime. So okay, so right now we're in March, right? We're in March, okay? Um, about to be April. I may be uploading this video probably early April. Um, towards the end of March, early April. Uh, so right now they're gonna stay here. Okay, even as these slips mature, they're not gonna go out into the soil until May. I would say May, when it is consistently warm. That's when I'm gonna put them out there. Once you put those things out there in the soil, and of course I have I'm doing container gardening, so they'll be in the container, in the soil in the container. But once they go in there, man, and you start, they start getting a taste of that sun, and you start, watering them consistently and fertilizing them consistently and checking on them, man, oh man, they will grow. They will get huge. The leaves will be everywhere on the ground. They will be popping out of the container everywhere on the ground. Okay. So, and you can see this slip right here, it's growing there. So I plan on doing 3 containers this time. Last year I did 2 containers, and I did 2 slips in each container. Now the containers are big, however, I'm changing things up a little bit and I'm probably gonna make more make a video about this in the near future, on my kind of experiences from my first year of gardening and what I'm changing for this year of gardening. But this is part of the change I'm going to make, which is I felt like I packed a lot of plants in one container last year. So the sweet potatoes were the ones that I actually felt that I did better on, as far as not exhausting the soil. So these containers are pretty big. So I did 2 slips per container. This year, I'm planning on doing just 1 slip per container, because these things, they grow. They grow. I mean, they grow out. Okay. They're going to grow out, and they're going to go deep, and they, as deep as that container will go, they will grow deep to the bottom. Okay, they will reach every inch surface level of that container. Okay, but I noticed that there were a number of sweet potatoes that were small and didn't quite mature, to its full maturity, and I'm wondering if it's due to the fact that I had 2 slips in each container, growing out like that, and they were fighting for resources and nutrients, and why they didn't grow as big and mature as I would want them to. There were a number of them like that. I did get ones that grew as big as this one, and maybe 1 or 2 as big as that. A few more as big as this, and the rest of them were pretty mid-sized and smaller. Yeah. So I hope I covered everything in this video. But again, you grow you grow sweet potatoes by putting the actual sweet potato. You get the one that you get from the store that you eat. It's just go buy a fresh new one from the store. Put it in a glass container, with some water. The sweet potato will grow roots first, and then it will start going slips. And then those slips mature. You cut them at the base level, and you put those in the water. Those slips will grow more roots, and as those roots get more defined and bigger, those will go in the soil. So that is the trick. Sweet potatoes to me are easy to grow. They're pretty easy to grow. They're not difficult. If you can get this down pat, which is pretty easy, they're not difficult. I mean, they're just sitting here soaking. That's what they're doing. They're just soaking, sitting here, just chilling, just growing away, just chilling. It's crazy. It's the power of plants. I mean, how are these roots? Look at all these roots. How are they growing from just water? It's mind blowing. The power of plants. Look at that. look at that glass about Angry Orchard. Funny. Yeah. Anyway, and I also I like to date them as well. Oh, just want to add one more thing. So from the point when you actually get the sweet potato, when you start it from the beginning, from the sweet potato into the glass container, all the way to when you get the slips, mature slips into the soil, it will probably take 2 to 3 months for that to happen. Okay, that is why, as you can see this date on here, that is why I started this on December. What does that say? December 21st, 2018. Okay. I started on December 21st, 2018. Right now is March 25th. March 25th. So it's already January, February. It's already 3 months. So let me rewind what I just said. It probably would take 4 months. To do this. And last year I started in the end of February. So I didn't actually get the slips into the soil until about July. And so I mean that was to me, that was very late into getting a summer crop to start growing properly in the way that it's supposed to grow to its full maturity. So to me, that was very late. So that's why this time around, this second year, I'm like, oh, I'm making changes and I'm doing things right. I am doing things right because I want a successful gardening season, and I want good harvest. I mean, I'm not playing around. This is not a game to me. Okay, this is not a game. I'm not playing around. I want a successful harvest. I mean, I want to be eating sweet potatoes every day, from this harvest. So, but we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, from the point where you put the sweet potato in the glass container to where you get the slips into the soil, it will take at least 4 months. At least 4 months, maybe 4 to 5. But with the way these are looking, I mean, these are going to mature in about a month, and which like I said, I'm going to have these slips in the soil in May. Okay, May time, it's gonna get consistently warm, and it takes about 3 months for the sweet potatoes to start growing once you put the slips in the soil. So it takes about 3 months. So if I put it in May, let's say mid-May, right? Let's say May 15th. I'm not going to be able to harvest until June, July, August 15th. Okay, until August 15th. So I'll be able to harvest, August, September, October, and I would even say November, December, because I mean we're in Georgia, and Georgia weather is not the same as it used to be. Let's say, 15 years ago. It is not the same. I mean, in December it's 70 something degrees in December in Georgia. Okay, there's a period in November where it gets kind of cold, but in December, oh yeah, it's sunny in December. The weather is 70 something degrees in December, and as we all know, with climate change, things are only going to get warmer. So, in places like Georgia, that may be a good thing for crops temporarily. Okay, all right, big, yeah, temporarily, but eventually, but at the same time, in other places like Florida, it may not be good environment for even some summer crops. It may not be a good environment. Maybe too hot. and some places maybe seeing even hotter than that. Okay, hotter than like Florida, for example. Like let's say Nevada, Las Vegas, that area gets really over 100 consistently. So, but yeah, so I will be able to harvest August, September, October, November, and again, 5 months of harvesting on sweet potatoes. I think that is very good. I think that is very good. And and after that, if I notice that it's starting to get really cold, I may pull it in a greenhouse. Again, these slips, they don't grow tall in the soil. They just grow out. They spread out. So I may just put it in a greenhouse and control the temperature in the greenhouse, make it warmer in there, and it may continue growing. Because I mean, that's one thing about sweet potatoes. Once you harvest them, just put the soil back. You're gonna have to dig in the soil to get them. You're gonna have to get dirty. It's fun, or well, it's hard work. But it's fun. Dig out those sweet potatoes, but just pack that soil back together, and it will continue growing. Just fertilize, take care of it. It will continue growing. It's a root vegetable. It just keeps on growing. It just keeps on growing as it finds nutrients. It just keeps on going. So this is my big sweet potato update. It's been a long video, I guess. I guess since I haven't talked about my sweet potato much in my channel, I've done the tomatoes, I've done the peppers. I mean, there's nothing really to look at with those right now, other than how beautiful they're growing. Scary at first, but they look beautiful now. Yeah, since I've been covering those mostly, and haven't touched on the sweet potatoes, this is why this has been a long video. So glad you guys enjoy it, or hope you guys enjoy it. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Like, you guys have been watching this already. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys learn anything. It's always fun to learn new things. All right, I'm out. Peace.
This is Dat the E-Vegan. I'll be putting out more videos and content, so please like, subscribe, and share for more updates. Continue evolving. Peace. Also, use my referral code in the description below to get 1,000 miles of free supercharging with the purchase of a new Tesla.